you're not sure about a Gazette or a CFO in Nigerian real estate, then stay with me because by the end of this video, you clearly understand the difference between a Gazette and a CFO, and more importantly, what they actually mean for you if you're a buyer living abroad. If you're a Nigerian in the diaspora planning to buy land back home, distance in some kind of way puts you at a disadvantage, and clearly understanding land titles is one way to protect yourself. I am Michael Lujobi, also known as Mike Mr. Realty. I'm a real estate advisor and educator, and I'm an associate with Billionaire Realtors Group (BRG), the leading real estate brokerage firm in Nigeria. And I help Nigerians in diaspora, particularly navigate the Nigerian real estate industry so that they can invest safely and avoid costly mistakes. So, without further ado, let's get straight into the topic of today. What is a CFO? So a CFO is the highest land title in Nigeria. It's also the most popular land title in Nigeria, and it is issued by either the state government or the federal government to either an individual or a corporate entity to use a land for a specific purpose. Can use once you have the CFO, it means the government is officially recognizing you as the legal occupier of that land. And once you have the CFO, you have full rights to occupy the land, to dwell on the land, or to sell the land. And the occupancy period on a land that has a CFO is usually 99 years. So every CFO document spans for a period of 99 years, after which you can now go through a process of updating the CFO. So this the CFO as a document got into enactment since the 1978 Land Use Act, and it hasn't been 99 years just yet. So nobody actually knows what happens when the term of a CFO expires. But a gazette, on the other hand, is an official government publication. It's more or less like a journal, or you can say a magazine. All right, and it's an evidence that a land that was formerly under government acquisition has been released back to either a community or a family, and it usually covers quite a large expanse of land. All right, so when where a gazette is concerned, it usually involves a large expanse of land. So the gazette is where it is officially documented and published that a land that was once under government acquisition has been given back to either a community or a family. So the whole process of getting a gazette is what we call annexation. So the way it works is that a family or a community would apply to the government for accession. Then, once the application has been approved, once it has been lodged, the government is going to generate what we call an accession file number, right, which is going to be used to by the community or the family to track the process or to track the progress of that accession. But there's a common thing in real estate, and it is that some sellers sell you a land that has an accession file number and not a gazette. So when you buy such a property, when you buy such a land, you are taking a 50-50 chance, because at the end of the day, the government reserves full rights to either grant an accession or not to grant an accession. So, but the document that certifies, that guarantees that a land has been successfully given back to a community or a family is a gazette, not an accession file number. So, what is the values of the gazette? Like I mentioned before, once there is a gazette, it means that that land is free from government acquisition whatsoever. So, when you buy a land that has a gazette, you're not going to encounter encumbrances on the land. It's a free land, and the gazette also shows that so and so family or so community is the recognized landowner of that land. All right, and once there's a gazette document over a land, it also means that you are eligible to apply for a C of O. But a CFO, on the other hand, when you're buying a land that has a CFO, it's going to be more expensive, because the process of even obtaining a CFO on the land attracts charges. It's an expensive undertaking. But on the whole, when you acquire land that has a CFO, you generally are exposed to lower risk because the CFO is the highest land title in Nigeria, like we make mention of, and supersedes any other kind of land title. And at the end of the day, as well, it is easier to resell because it's the most popular land title we have in Nigeria, and every buyer, every intending buyer, would ask the document that you have on your property. And if you have a CFO, it makes the land easier to resell on the long run. So the Gazette, on the other hand, is relatively cheaper compared to a CFO property. When there's a Gazette on a property, there's a Gazette document on property, it's going to be cheaper compared to a land that has a CFO document. But still on still, even a Gazette, a land that has a Gazette, you still need to do proper verification on the Gazette. So what does that look like? You need to ensure that the document that you are being offered is the genuine document issued by the government. All right, because there's a lot of, you know, these days documents fly all around, and it's easy to get in possession of a non-genuine document. So you need to, and it's actually a straightforward process because every gadget have has what you call the volume number. All right. Every gazette has issue number. Every gazette has volume number. So what you're going to do is you're going to request for that volume number from the seller, and then you're going to take that number to the land registry so that you can obtain a CTC, certified true copy of the gazette. And once you do that, you're going to do your due diligence. And what that means is that on the gazette, you have to ensure that it is carrying the correct names of the seller that you want to buy from, no mistakes. All right. And you also want to ensure that it's carrying the address, the correct address, the location of that property. The property can't be in one location and the gazette is carrying another location. There mustn't be discrepancies in the gazette document, otherwise the transaction is going to be automatically null and void. So another benefit to a gazette is that it has potential for title upgrade, like we made mention of. When you buy a land that has a gazette, of course you're going to be issued your land purchase receipt and your deed of assignment from the seller, which would enable you to now go ahead to apply for a CFO on that land. So, if this video helped you understand the two concepts better, then be sure to hit the like button. And you can watch this video here that explains the difference between a deed of assignment and a contract of sale. Don't forget to subscribe for more educative related videos. And if you need guidance before committing your money, then that's a conversation worth having.